Hello and welcome to Victoria University's Open Day. My name is Emily Bodie and I am super excited to be here with you today where we are going to find out more about all things digital technology. Joining me from the VUTV studio, we have a panel from Victoria University Polytechnic and our industry partners to help fill me and you in. Welcome first of all to Jo Cave, who is the Manager of Cyber and Digital Transformation at VU. Welcome, Jo.
Thanks, Emily.
We also have Annafred Bennett, who is the Manager of IT and Security Operations for Greater Western Water. Welcome, Annafred.
Thank you, Emily, for the warm introduction.
Happy to have you here. And finally, rounding out our panel today, we have Sarah Dempsey, who is a Cybersecurity Associate with Greater Western Water, and she's also a graduate of VU Cert 4 in Cybersecurity. So a big warm welcome back to you, Sarah.
Thanks, Emily. It's nice to be here.
It's great to have you all here, and I'm excited to talk about all things technology because it is not my strong suit, so I'm excited to learn plenty of new things today. I might start with you, Annafred. We hear terms like cybersecurity, cyber attacks and hacking quite regularly now, especially now that people working more and more from home. Should we be scared, or is this an exciting thing for our graduates to look into?
Okay, so before I could give you an answer about if it's exciting or if it's really scary, I just wanted to give you some context. The World Economic Forum says that cybersecurity failure is one of the top key risks, which is presenting a real danger to the world. So when I say real danger, it talks about economic instability, social instability, financial losses, geopolitical tensions, and so on. And what caught my eye was cyber is trending for a few years now, and it's becoming even more real and physical. So we live in a world where we are interconnected in a number of ways, interconnected in a world of cyber and data. And what that really means is like we need someone with skills to help us protect our government, business, household infrastructure, our lives, our identities, our privacy, and our environment. And also the Information Security Institute also says that there is a worldwide shortage, which means 3.5 million in the range of cyber professionals. So we have a huge shortage, and it's going to grow worse dramatically in the foreseeable future. So that said, while it's really threatening and scary, it's an opportunity for the younger generation.
Wonderful. So a bit of a perfect storm there, a shortage of the industry and a shortage of graduates coming out. So yeah. Great opportunities. I won't freak out too much then about cybersecurity or digital technology, but I will be cautiously optimistic. What is it that excites you most about this sector?
I mentioned about the World Economic Forum and what it says, that cyber is a key risk. And where there is a risk, there is an opportunity. And you hear it always in the news. There is a cyber attack that happens every day, everywhere, somewhere, even while we speak. There's some data or a system that has been held ransom. And even in our very own state, our hospitals had to fight back and recover very recently. So what does it mean for us? Like, what does it mean for the industry and why it is exactly exciting? One, everyone understands cyber now. Everyone knows what a data breach is because every time there is a cyber attack, it hits the news. Number two, the organizations recently have come to a point where they now know that cybersecurity is no longer an option, but it's a mandatory thing, which means there is a huge market for cybersecurity professionals. And why it is exciting, going back again, this industry, you constantly learn more on what's happening. And you have varied options. It opens up a world of options for a cybersecurity professional. Number one, you get to learn next generation technologies. That is only if you want to be a technical geek, right? The second point is you can also be a strategist. You can help organizations pave a pathway for their organization cybersecurity journey. The third option, you can be a cybersecurity behavioral leader where you can boost cyber awareness to the community, to the organization staff in innovative ways. So what happens here, being a cybersecurity professional and being in this industry, is like you constantly learn, and you are constantly also on the lookout and trying to research and identify and find new ways to detect and stop sophisticated attacks. And we are like, the generation of cyber warriors, what we call us as. And that's a great phenomenon to be, and that's what is exciting about this industry.
And I don't think in this day and age, any of us can really discount the importance of cybersecurity or digital technologies. Jo, we've got an amazing purpose-built facility at our St Albans campuses that our cybersecurity students learn in. Tell us a bit about it, because it is an amazing thing to see.
Yeah, no, we're very fortunate to have a purpose-built, designed by industry, extensively with industry consultation to give the students that expanded knowledge and, practical hands-on experience. It really gives them an idea of the threat landscape that's out there in cybersecurity at the moment. And it was designed, we had an industry advisory group. Cisco were instrumental in helping us put it all together, and we've used it recently for cybersecurity challenges with the students, which is very exciting. We did a national cyber challenge, which we came first in the state, second in the country. So
amazing.
Very exciting. But the feedback that we get from industry and for students that have gone out into, industry is that it provides them that real life experience. They feel like they're in a security operations centre. And a lot of our students move on to those type of roles. So it's fantastic, yeah.
And consultation with industry must be so important in a field that Annafred's already outlined is moving so quickly. How do we stay up to date and make sure that the course content is relevant?
Yeah, no, that's a good question. We spend a lot of time consulting with industry. So the actual, for example, the Certificate 4 in Cyber was designed by industry, with industry. It was an industry advisory panel that got set up to go through, what do students need out there in the workplace? What are the important skills? And it's not, the actual program isn't purely technical. There's, as Annafred was touching on, there's the non-technical, so it might be the governance and risk associated with cybersecurity. There are lots of, it can be, research, because a lot of it is research. You might hear about a cyber threat and then you need to, research it. And we, talk to industry on a regular basis about, and once the program was designed, it's also making sure it's current because of the speed at which it, moves forwards, and there might be new products and new threats and new vulnerabilities, and so making sure, it's constantly changing and updating. So yeah, it's the fast-pacedness is fantastic, but it's also a challenge.
Absolutely, I can see why. Now, Victoria University Polytechnic, we teach using the blended model. Tell us a bit about that, because it is award-winning. What does it look like and what does it mean for our students studying cybersecurity?
Yeah, the blended model incorporates some online and some face-to-face. So traditionally, you might have a face-to-face program where all the theory is done face-to-face, all the practical is done face-to-face. With the blended model, a lot of the theory is done online or with remote delivery, and then the students come in to do face-to-face, whether it's touching equipment, maybe some time in the Security Operations Centre. So it sort of works really well for the students, and feedback's been very positive that, they like the balance of the two.
Yeah, so it gives them an opportunity to learn at their own pace, and then once they're in that amazing purpose-built facility, it's all hands on deck and they can jump straight in and get on with the practical elements.
Yeah, no,
amazing.
Fantastic.
I haven't forgotten you down there, Sarah. So you're one of our Cert 4 in Cybersecurity graduates. Tell us a bit about why you chose to study at VU Polytechnic.
Well, prior to COVID, I'd built up a career in hospitality, which came crumbling down as it did for a lot of people. And I had to step back and look what direction I was going to take myself in next. So I started doing a bit of research about different career paths and changes, because trying to stick to hospitality, I saw it as a massive risk. So I come along this cybersecurity course, and I found everything that I was reading about it to be really interesting and really thrilling. And I thought, coming in out of this, at best I could look at a new job. At worst, I gained some skills and keep myself busy during lockdown. And then I absolutely fell in love with the course. I find it so thrilling, so engaging, and just went, this is absolutely what I want to be doing with the rest of my life.
Amazing. Such a big change to go from hospitality to cybersecurity. What was it like when you stepped into that classroom? What kind of projects were you working on, or what was your coursework like?
Well, it was really exciting and a little bit nerve-wracking to get started, because on the first day everyone said something about themselves, and most people had a solid experience in it, and I had to stand up and say, I run a live music venue. This is my first computer in about 5 years. So from there, every project we took on to me was quite interesting. We did some project management stuff, which I'm finding really useful working now for Greater Western Water, because a lot of the skills that I learnt there are instantly transferable. We did some fun pen testing stuff, and my teacher was really good at keeping us all engaged with some hacking demonstrations with his own gear and things like that. So it was really cool to do and learn a whole new world.
So you mentioned that you weren't really using computers in your kind of day-to-day life, and this was a bit of a shock to the system going back to it. What kind of advice would you have for somebody who's not quite sure they have the technical know-how to step into a course like this?
Just give it a go. Like, that's all it takes. And if you want to learn something, you can. That's what school's for. We go to school to learn, not because you already know what to do. So yeah, just try it and hopefully you fall in love with it too.
So Jo, we've heard now from Annafred and Sarah about some of the amazing opportunities available for our graduates in industry. What are some of the partners that we're working with, and why are they so important for us?
So we've got multiple industry partners that we're working with that will either, there are different aspects of our industry partnerships. One, we might have some that offer us advice on the course, so they might be part of the industry advisory panel, and so we'll talk to them about what we're currently delivering, what the trends are in the marketplace, whether the products that we're delivering or the vendors that we're using are still current. Is that industry best practice? So we have industry partners with that, and then we also have industry partners that take on students for maybe internships or some work placement. We also have industry partners that will come in and have conversations with the students, tell them about their day-to-day experience. And so without those industry relationships and partnerships we've got, I mean, they are really integral to the program.
And certainly it seems like our graduates get the best outcomes from that, and our industry partners as well. So
Absolutely.
That's a great symbiotic relationship. Annafred, how have you found working with Victoria University Polytechnic graduates and your role as an industry partner?
This is a great partnership, I would say. The great partnership because Victoria University is building the knowledge that is required and sending those skills to the market, to people like us. And we are building the skills and the talent that is required. And what we are doing together is we are trying to bridge the gap. We are doing our part of giving back to the world in solving the global skills shortage. So that's what we are doing as a partner.
So Sarah, Annafred's told us that there's a big job boom available for graduates and lots of opportunity. How do you find yourself coming to work at your first grad position?
That opportunity actually came through VU. So my teacher was contacted looking for people that he thought would be suitable for the role. My name was put forward along with a few others from different graduating classes, and we went through the standard interview process, and luckily I was the person that got that one.
And how are you finding your new role now, and what kind of stuff are you doing?
It's really exciting. I love it. So I'm working a lot in security awareness and education. So ways that we can take these skills for the people that might not have the same knowledge that people working in IT are, because these are a lot of things that I've just spent the year learning and really focusing on. So that's great.
Fantastic. And on the flip side, Annafred, how has it been working with a brand new grad like Sarah?
Exciting, I would say. Coaching and mentoring young graduates is a key passion for our women in leadership at Greater Western Water. And this is the way, as I said, we give back to the community through building skills in the cybersecurity space. And all the more, I think we have disrupted, as Sarah said, that she's come from a hospitality background. And I think we have disrupted the cybersecurity industry by bringing in someone with a hospitality background. So what it means and what does it say is like, you don't need to be a tech geek. You just need to have enough knowledge in cyber. And Sarah has been doing an amazing job. And, something that Sarah didn't mention was we developed our first mobile gaming app for cyber to create cybersecurity awareness. And it all started off with a small idea from one of our IT leaders, and Sarah played a major role in it, in the development of the app and delivering the app to the broader organization. And as Sarah said, she's also working on a new cybersecurity awareness communication plan, working together with the internal comms team. That's an innovative way of reaching out to the broader organization, and when it's successful, it will be communicated broader across our customers and community as well. So that's the change that Sarah is bringing to the organization, and that's the impact that she is bringing to our customers and community indirectly.
Wonderful. It must be really encouraging, Sarah, to hear that positive feedback. I'm sure she would have said the same if you weren't here. But also really good to see how your previous experience in hospitality has been able to inform and help you progress your career now that you're in cyber. So all good news all around, I think, is the story of that. Now, I've asked plenty of questions today, but we have had some audience questions from prospective students interested in a Cert 4 in cybersecurity, like you've just completed, Sarah. So I'll rile off a couple of them. I might start with you, Jo. We have a question here. How do I apply for a cybersecurity course?
Okay, right. It's actually really straightforward, which is great. It's online. You go onto the website, the VU website, and under the Certificate 4 in Cyber, there's a button that says Apply Now. There are two buttons. One's Apply Now, one's, register your interest. And you click on the Apply Now and you fill in some information about yourself. Then that gets sent off. And then next is a learning literacy and numeracy test, and after that you do a pre-training review, which it's fantastic because it actually is a one-on-one, or sometimes they're group, but one-on-one, to discuss whether this course is what you're looking for, to understand a little bit more about the prospective students' aspirations, and then after that, if it's definitely what they want to do and where their interest lies, they get sent an offer, and then they just have to accept the offer online. So it's a really easy, feedback from students is it's really an easy process.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it's great.
I might stick with you, Jo. We have another question here around Victoria University being a dual sector university, meaning that we offer both vocational education and higher education courses. So what does that mean for me if I wanted to study cybersecurity?
Another good question. We've got students that have studied, started studying with the Certificate 4, and then they can move on. Currently, after that, there's a degree course that they can move into, so that's in the higher ed. So the transition for the students is really straightforward because it's the same learning management system. They understand how to navigate the VU system or the university system. In 2022, we're starting to deliver an advanced diploma in cyber, which means students can go from the Certificate 4 in Cyber to the Advanced Diploma in Cyber, and then there's a degree in Cyber, which you can get advanced standing. Students that have completed the Advanced Diploma can move on to the degree or the Bachelor, and they'll get advanced standing for that time. So,
wonderful.
Yeah, it's great.
So getting some credit for past study. That's really good, but also very encouraging to see that the Certificate 4 itself is still a working qualification, and Sarah's been able to enter into the job market through that qualification. So really something for everybody who's got the interest in digital technology and cyber. So we probably have time for one final question. So I might address this to you if I can, Anna Fred. What are the main challenges that you have seen in the workforce or industry?
All right. Desired or not, the image of cybersecurity, there's a false image around cybersecurity. The reason being, you've seen in movies and in media, you see a shadowy guy with a hoodie on, working in a dark, intensely dark room with intense music. And sometimes people think, cybersecurity means you need to know everything about technology and you have to be a geek. So the challenge, what I'm trying to say here is women shy away because of that perception. They think cybersecurity is all about technology, which means the challenge is there is a gender imbalance in the workforce and in the industry by itself. But that's changing because of people like us and because of the great partnerships that we are having. And even at Greater Western Water, we've started using inclusive language, starting back to the recruitment pipeline as well, to attract, to recruit, to retain, and create a diverse and an inclusive workforce for women to thrive. So that's a challenge that we are currently, passing hurdles, and we are passing through great hurdles, and we are, solving problems there in that space. The second challenge is, as Joe told, that this specific industry has to keep up with the ever-evolving threats and with the number of sophisticated attacks that happen, which means we have to be constantly keeping up to date on what's happening around. That means we need more skills. So that's the challenge, going back to the shortage that I was talking about. And also the cybersecurity strategy in the past was primarily focused on defensive techniques. So what we need is, we need a fine balance. We need to strike a balance of having, like in any other, like in any game, a football game or a soccer game, you have an offensive group and you have a defensive group as well, so within the team. So you need to balance an offensive and defensive techniques to strike the right balance, one, and to stay ahead of the next cyber attack. For that, again, we need skills, new skills, skills related to cyber, and that's what we are trying to solve, and that's the challenge.
And hopefully the partnership with VU Polytechnic is helping deliver up to that challenge.
Definitely.
And I was just going to add, touching on from what Annafred said, we graduates currently, we're sitting at about 30% female graduates, which is way ahead of the current market, which is about 17, 18% females. So we're up at about 30, 35%.
Oh, it's good to see some of that having an impact, yeah. And with amazing graduates like Sarah, hopefully those kind of trends can continue. Well, that's all we have time for today. I would like to thank you all so much, Joe, Annafred and Sarah, for taking some time out to educate me that cybersecurity isn't all action movie hackers in their basements. I really appreciate that. It's an exciting field. There's lots happening, and it's so encouraging to hear that VU's right at the forefront of everything going on. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Emily.
I hope all of you watching at home have managed to learn a thing or two. I know I certainly have. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your open day. We will see you at VU soon.